just want to tell you guys a little bit about fire extinguishers, like why you should have one, and most importantly, how to use them. My dad's been a firefighter for about 30 years, so he's taught me a lot of different fire safety stuff since I've been growing up. And about a year and a half ago, I became a firefighter too at Addison. And so far, I've taken about 168 hours of training where they teach you different fire skills like using a fire extinguisher. Somebody gets injured or killed approximately every 3 minutes from a fire in their own home. And most of these fires come from the kitchen. And they start out small and then spread to the rest of the house. And if somebody had a fire extinguisher there and knew how to use it properly, they could be eliminated completely. Okay, fire is made up of 3 components: heat, oxygen, and fuel. Whenever you put them together, you'll have a fire. But when you take any one piece out, the fire will go out. And that's how fire extinguishers work. In most cases, they take either the heat or the oxygen away by putting like a halogen, carbon monoxide, or a dry chemical covering on it to smother. Okay. There's different types of fire extinguishers that you have to use on different types of fires. Like some of them have water in, and if you put that on an electrical fire, it's not going to be good. So it's important to know what type to use. Type A, which this one is an ABC, they can put that together. Type A is for ordinary combustibles like trash, wood, other paper, clothing, things like that. Type B is for flammable liquids like gas, kerosene, and here we have a propane grill. That would also need a type B fire extinguisher to put out. Type C, electrical fires. It can come from overloading an outlet. If you have frayed or old wires, can start it. And Christmas trees are really bad because it doesn't take long to burn them up since they're usually dry and such small pieces of like twigs and stuff. In this picture on the right is whenever it started, and then on the left was just like 2 minutes later. So if you had a fire extinguisher and put it out, you'd have a lot less damage and problems to deal with later. Type D is for combustible metals, and usually you only see these fires like in big mills or plants. But some common things is if you would have a big bag of old pop cans or something in your garage and it would catch on fire, you need a Type D fire extinguisher to put it out. And also under the hood of your car, it would be metal. Type K is for kitchen fires, and these are grease or cooking oils. And you might think, well, those are liquids, so you could use a Type B fire extinguisher. But it's different because they're so hot that if you put a Type B on it, it'll put it out, but then a couple seconds later, it'll just combust again because of it being so hot, so you need a different chemical. I'll show you guys a video of what happens when you put the wrong thing on a grease fire.
So, I put, you see, you cannot pull out the cut by this extinguisher. Okay? Cannot. So this one cannot. Yeah. And then we will show you if someone put the water to the cascade fire, what happened? What happened? Okay? You can see this fire extinguisher can put out the cascade fire when we have a big fire. Only
Alright, so you can see if you use an ABC fire extinguisher, the fire will just keep coming back. And if you put water on it, it'll make the fire bigger. So you need to make sure you have the right type. Now, if you have a fire extinguisher and you know what kind to have, that's good, but if you don't know how to use it, it's still not going to help you. So a good method is the PAX method. The first P stands for pull the pin. And all of them are slightly different, but they all have the pin here that you have to pull out first, because if you don't, you can't squeeze the trigger. Next is aim. You point, the bigger fire extinguishers have a nozzle to aim with, but small ones like this, you just aim wherever you need it to go. And you want to spray the base of the fire. Lots of times people with fire extinguishers will just spray the flame, and that's not going to put your fire out. If you spray the base, it'll create a layer that makes it from getting oxygen. Next is squeeze the handle, which will put the agent on the fire, and then you just sweep back and forth, covering the whole entire base. Now, storage and maintenance. Lots of times people will get a fire extinguisher, hang it up like on a wall mount or something, and then it'll stay there forever. If you don't have it in the right place, or you don't take care of it, it's still not going to help you. You need to have one on every floor, because if you have a fire in your basement, and the only place you have a fire extinguisher might be like up in your closet or something, By the time you run up a couple floors, find your extinguisher and go back, whatever was on fire is going to spread to the rest of the room. You need to keep them out of like direct heat, such as sunlight, or away from fireplaces, because it can mess with the agent inside and make it so it doesn't put out fires anymore. And it's good to keep them in an area that's high risk for fires, like kitchens or garages. You need to have them inspected at least once a year, just to make sure that they still can work properly. They come with a tag that you can see here to mark down yearly when you get them inspected. And also yourself, every month you should inspect them yourself. Just go, if they're on a wall mount, make sure you can get it off easily and there's not junk around it, getting in your way. You have to turn it upside down and hit the bottom a couple times and shake it up, because the agent will all settle to the bottom, kind of like when you put oil and water together, they'll separate. So you need to make sure you have it mixed up so everything comes out at once. So you can see fire extinguishers, a small one like that ABC costs about like $30. So it's not much that can save your house or your loved ones. So that's how you use fire extinguishers.